Good morning. It is February the 3rd, and it is the first day of the X's and O's read-a-thon. I decided that I wanted to try the vlogging again in a more or less hectic season. So, and it's just like 5 days of vlogging, but I want to vlog my experience through this read-a-thon. The first book that I will be reading is going to be an ebook, and it's called Two Part Sugar and One Part Murder. So that is the first book that I will be reading. If you hear music in the background, my nephew's over and he's watching like this little YouTube fruits video. So I also, since like I said, I'm taking care of my nephew, we're gonna go out and do some well, we have to get something from Home Depot, and then I'm gonna go to the library later today. But so we'll kind of have little things here and there, but mostly I'll be talking about the book. I did start the book this morning. I actually started last night, but I started it like reading more this morning. And so far we see a young woman who is basically, she starts off the book on this airplane where she's talking to a priest or a father, like Catholic father, and she's kind of spewing her life story a little to him. And she is coming off of a bad, actually she's coming off of a social media disaster. She decided to have her wedding videotaped and be put live on social media, but her fiance does not show up to the wedding, and she is devastated. And so she's kind of wanting to unwind and get away from social media, although not really, because she's like still posting. But anyway, so she's on this airplane, and you're trying to figure out where she's going, and she's actually going to New Bison is the town, but I think it's Michigan, but I'm not sure the town right now. But she's going there because her great aunt Octavia had passed away, and she wrote in her will that she was going to leave everything to this lady. And if I haven't mentioned this before, the lady is named Maddie. That's her name. So the great aunt, leaves a lot of like leaves everything in her will to Maddie. And Maddie goes up there, and she's been read the will, and the will basically stipulates that she has to stay in New Bison for a year at least, to taking care of great aunt's dog, and his name is Baby. And she also cannot sell the house, nor can she sell the business, the bakery that the great aunt owned. And so it has to be a year before Maddie decides if she wants to keep it or not. And so Maddie is basically learning the town. We find out she doesn't know how to cook or bake, so she is trying to figure her life. At the same time, she is like not prepared for the weather there, so we talks a lot about her like getting used to living on her own. And you get the feel that she has this fast life because she is an influencer, and so she has like the newest like designer items. She's used to luxury, and she was pretty much spoiled by her father, and so she's really gonna try to stick it out, be an adult. Right now, the part where I'm on, she is talking to a lot of people in the town. There are some people who are interested in buying the property of her aunt's house, as well as the bakery, and even the dog. And so yeah, I will say that there is well, it is so far there's no cursing. The only thing is that there was a part with one character, and I don't like this character anyway, but he does say a word that I would consider as a curse word. And but he says it once, and that kind of caught me a little off guard, um, especially when it kind of talked about the the dog baby being like this like stud, like a breeder, like how he like this is a stud dog, like a breeding dog. So kind of goes a little bit to like the specifics of the business, but I mean, wasn't anything like too graphic. But anyway, he mentions a word in there, and it caught me off guard. But other than that, like nothing has been like crazy. Um, so, oh, if you happen to like hashtags, there's a bit of times where she like posts a picture and she uses hashtags, and it's not a lot to where it's annoying, but I think it's pretty funny. So, yeah, that is the book, and I will keep you posted. That's just This is just a little hint of what you probably heard in the background. He absolutely loves this show. It's Hey Bear, Dancing Fruit. It's a pretty groovy one. Okay, so we're been back from the stores and probably saw some footage of that. We decided to clean more of a deep clean in the restrooms and everything, and so we just got done with dinner. So it is currently like 6:30. We kind of ate a little early today, but that's fine. We were really hungry, but I do plan on listening to an audiobook with my husband later on this evening. So I wanted to update about the book. And that way my evening is freed up listening to an audiobook with my husband. If for those who don't know, we listen to the Chronicles of Narnia series. And so we're currently listening to Prince Caspian and enjoying it. But that's not what this vlog is about. So anyway, but I wanted to update on the ebook. I'm about 30, a little over 30%, I think, maybe close to like 40. So I'm pretty close to like that halfway mark, which at this rate, I most likely could finish this book tomorrow. That's the plan. But where we last left off, we're at the part where the person gets murdered, and she has her fingerprints on the weapon. That's part of the synopsis. So we're in that part of the book, and you start to still meet new characters. I was struggling trying to like remember who was who, and I think it's maybe because I'm reading it at a faster pace, but you do get introduced to a lot of characters all within like a few paragraphs of each other, and it was kind of hard for me to like remember who was who, but that's like a little minor detail. It's also an ebook, so I find that ebook sometimes it's harder to like for me to read sometimes. But anyway, so you're meeting these new characters, and it's to me it's kind of hard to figure out who it could be. But I definitely have some suspicions. And Maddie is very much like wants to cooperate because she's just like this is not my character. And she's a babbler, so like she just spills like more and more of her life story as you go through the book. She is pretty funny in the fact that I really find it humorous that even in the midst of trouble, she still finds time to post things, and it's like her hashtags are pretty like cute. They're pretty funny. But during the midst of all of this, she's still posting pictures, and it's just like, I don't know, just kind of sharing with the world what's going on in a way. And so I just found that interesting. You have the investigation going on, but at the same time, everyone is kind of like living like their normal lives, because they talked about like this one group of people just kind of coming over and visiting her kind of deal after she had a night with like the police officers, like talking to them and trying to cooperate with them. And then the next day she's like with this group of people, and they're all like eating together and just like shooting the breeze and everything. So it's like, okay, it's definitely the small town feel, but I don't know, I just thought that was interesting. But I guess that's the up to the point to where I'm at right now. I'm trying not to give a lot away, but we're at the point where we're starting to try to figure out who did it, and we're still meeting new characters, and these characters are like, I don't know, like you kind of figure out how Octavia, which is the great grand aunt who passed, you kind of get a glimpse of how she touched their lives in a way. And so it's cute, it's cozy. That's where I'm at. Just wanted to update this part of it, and hopefully if I get more reading in and tonight, then tomorrow I'll have like some more information. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Good morning. It is February 4th, and I am not to the 50% where I want it to be, as far as like the book where I'm at, but I'm pretty close. But it was a late start morning. That's okay. It's currently around like 10:30ish, almost 11. So just kind of had a late start morning. Just not feeling too well, but I think it's just because of with the weather change and the whole like not being like being on a schedule because things were canceled due to the weather, but things are now back to normal. So I think I'm just like, my body's just trying to regulate in terms of like schedule wise. But I did have the opportunity to read a little bit of the book, and I'm not at 50%, but I am pretty close. So I just want to give a quick update for that. So when we last left off, we talked about like the person was murdered, and Maddie's fingerprints were all on the murder weapon, but and then she's part of this like murder mystery group, or just kind of like this get together that her great aunt hosted, and so it's kind of like a murder mystery type of group and everything. So they're trying to solve the murder, and Maddie is the head of the not the head of the operation, but I guess she's trying to prove a lot more of herself, because of what her father and what she feels like other people in her life, like her ex-fiance, would like say about her. So like she thinks in her mind like her father is like telling her, I told you so, just come back home. And I can step in and help you with this. And she thinks her ex-fiance is just seeing her as a pretty face and not really like brain smart. So I think like, so we're seeing like Maddie is just trying to like prove herself and trying to see what she's capable of. And so that's like the struggle she's actually going through as well with this. And so I find that okay, interesting. Kind of seeing like if maybe that will sort of be a downfall later, because usually it kind of is. We'll see. As far as like really trying to prove yourself and then kind of get mixed up with other things, that like that part like usually is like a thing that you see in books. There were some parts of the book where it's not like anything horrific or bad or anything like that. It's just my personal taste. There are some parts of the book where I'm just kind of like, it's a little slow going, and some of the characters are very not a favorite, but they're not like, it's not like bad. It's just like, it's just right now they're kind of like not my favorite people. I actually didn't know if this was a like a Christian book, so to speak, but they do talk about faith a little bit, but it's not like very prevalent in the book. So you're kind of seeing also like this mystery might be a little deeper than what is on surface level. So as of now, it's still cute. It's still like, it still has some funny moments, but it's not like super groundbreaking. It's like one of those fluffy reads you kind of put in there. So anyway, that's all I have to say right now. I'm going to get ready for a lesson, and then we're going to be doing our master bedroom, or like cleaning and everything about cleaning it and just reorganizing, and then I have a party later on. Well, I'll see you in the next clip. Bye. Good afternoon. It is Sunday, February the 5th, and I did not film at all this morning. We go to church pretty early, and my husband and I actually sing in the choir at our church, so we had to get there pretty early to warm up and everything. But it's now in the afternoon, so I wanted to pop in here and talk a little bit more about the book. I have not finished it. I was a little ambitious last night, but today should be finished with the book. I did want to give some thoughts with it though. The book is going well. It's got some, I guess there are some things that I'm just like, about. She mentions, because they're mentioning about who is like possible a murder suspect to who killed the mayor, right? And the guy just references in there like, oh, I don't think it's this guy, and all of a sudden she just pops up and says, why did, and I'm assuming this is an older gentleman, because she mentions, oh, that's ageism or something, and it's like, you can't discriminate someone based off of their age, and that's actually really wrong. It's like discriminating based on the person's sex, and it's just like, okay, I mean, I get it, but at the same time, and then the guy ends up later saying that's not at all what I meant. I just don't think he would do it, because he's a pacifist and everything. So, and then some other kind of reason. So it wasn't really based off age, but it's like that little thing, and it's kind of like that in different parts, like different little things in there where she seems to take easy offense, even though they say, oh, no offense. Like, it's almost like they're covering up certain things and saying like, I meant no offense by that. And that, to me, I'm just like, that didn't sound offensive, like kind of apologize. So I know that's a little minute, and a lot of people aren't bothered by that. It's just as I'm reading the book, I'm noticing more and more. It's like little things like that, and it's like, oh, okay, well, it just doesn't seem like something to apologize much for. I know it's hard to explain, but it's just little things here and there where I'm like, okay, it doesn't really like. I feel like it's trying to make a statement, or not really make a statement, but like make certain things a thing, and it doesn't have to be. And if that doesn't make sense, I apologize. The other thing about this book is the romance, I guess, in it. So I think they're trying to do like a love triangle of some sort with it, or the author is trying to do a love triangle of some sort. To me, I felt like the guy is being a little too forward, like very much like out of nowhere, just I don't know, like, I mean, there's some like talking, and I guess some flirting. To me, it didn't seem super like flirting. I guess, yeah, maybe. So it's kind of like a little bit of flirting, but when the guy kind of like, when it mentions like he gets close and like he caresses her face, I'm like, whoa, that's a little too forward. Like there's no indicator that, she was interested in the guy at first. And, you're touching, her face, and she hasn't been in town for more than 5 days, so to me that's a little forward. But I mean, I guess it's like a short mystery story, so I guess they have to progress fast, but I felt like it was a little too fast. So and then just I'm noticing more and more, like with different people, or not different people, but with the other love interest, I guess, at this point in the book, it's like he also caresses her face. So if that's in a lot of romance novels, okay, I don't read much of them. I mean, I do read like a lot of historical fiction, and a lot of them have like romances in it, but like this is like the first one where I felt like, oh, that's pretty fast, pretty forward, pretty fast. So anyway, that's all I have to say right now about the book. I am now at 50%, and so I'm just hoping to get this book done today and possibly start the other book, because I really want to finish this read-a-thon within the time frame. And so I'll come back later and give my final thoughts about it. And yeah, that's basically this segment. So I will talk to you in the next segment of this video. First, wanting to see, had a nice little reading break. Yeah, I'm losing to my sister. Oh well. Okay, hey y'all, just wanted to pop back in, and I know that I probably showed footage of watching a movie. If not, oops, but I am back, and I finished the book. Here are my thoughts. It's, and take it with a grain of salt, if you will. This is not something that I personally enjoy reading. I will say it was a bit of a letdown, and I'm sorry for those who do like it. I mean, it was fine. I just personally felt disappointed in some of the little things. I mean, it was definitely a good mystery. I guess you kind of figure out who it is, and then even just like the events leading up to it, it was something that I guess you could figure out. But I think I kind of was getting annoyed with the main character, just because of just a lot of the things that she did say. Very much almost like a politically correct sort of deal, or just felt like she was making statements here and there. I know I mentioned it a little earlier, but it was like she made a comment about, I think someone mentioned in the book about like getting information from someone, and you just had to cozy up to the person, just trying to get information, right? And Maddie, the main character, starts to go on this tangent about, well, that's sexist because why would I have to dress up and like flirt with this person in order to get information? It basically saying like it was that was a sexist statement, and the lady did, of course, did not mean it that way. To like it felt like oh, maybe like a little like stereotypes, like she was calling out certain stereotypes and then saying how they were wrong. You know, like in murder mystery books, it's like, oh, the female always does this, and it's like like Maddie is just like, she tries to break a lot of those stereotypes, but she's being really like upfront and calls them out. And I mean, I don't normally like to read about that, like calling out the stereotypes. I think part of the thing goes without say, like, okay, you don't, it's like you don't have to call it out. To me, it's like this was supposed to be like a fluffy, kind of fun type of read, not something to really take serious, but it made it seem like they want like the way that the book was written made it seem like, oh, we just want to demolish these stereotypes. And to me, it's like making a statement, and it was just like, oh, well, that's not really kind of, I'm not reading the book to make the statements. That's how it feels like to me. I hope that makes sense. But every time Maddie was saying something, it was just like she had to like prove something or make a statement. And it was just nothing that I was interested at all in. So it kind of got a little annoying. It was a short, nice story. I don't think it really packaged up perfectly. And I think that was the whole point, because there's a sequel to the book. Would I read the sequel? I mean, I have a lot of things on my TBR that I would like to get into, and so I think that this is one series where I might not continue, just because if I didn't really enjoy it as much, I probably wouldn't read the sequel to it. So, but that's okay. And if this is a book that you guys have read and enjoyed, I know like this one was actually a favorite by one of the booktubers, and you know, I don't mean anything by it. It's just something that I know I didn't really enjoy, and I think that's great about this community. And for you out there watching, you get to see different perspectives from different people and kind of know what taste people have, especially within our community. And that's, you know, that's something you can check out and see, like, oh, this person, I like, there are some things I gravitate towards this person because they really like this book or that book. And so I'm glad that our community on here on BookTube has a wide range. Just encourage you, like, you don't have to take all my word for it. This is just my preference. And if you find that you like this book or you still want to give it a try, go ahead. This book might be, you may not see it the same way that I do, and that's okay. You know, if it interests you, go ahead and see it and then see for yourselves. But I just wanted to share my opinion out there about this book. For this rating, because it went a little downhill for me, I would give it a 2. That's kind of what I do with ratings, where it's just like, it was good, it was meh. So it was hinging on a 3 for me, but to me, I felt like it went a little more downhill than I want. So I would give it a 2. And again, I'm sorry. I mean, it's not a bad book. It does come down to preference. I don't like things very so spoken and blatantly spoken to make a point in a fluffy type of read. If it's something that I am interested in, normally it's a nonfiction that I would like appreciate more of those statements in than I do in a fluffy read. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And so that's why I put it down lower for me. So anyway, that took 2 days, 3 days. I'm not sure how many days we're at. I think it's 3 days. So I'm a little behind in my reading for this read-a-thon. But That's okay. I kind of also stopped doing, I did like one post on Instagram, so it's like, okay, got to get back on the ball with those. But the next book I will be reading is the Color Me series, and this is a young adult book, and it's another start of a series. And I'll start it tonight. Kind of give my thoughts at some point tomorrow. I know that I also have to get ready to start putting lessons together. I don't know if I mentioned what my part-time job was, but my part-time is teaching, and I I did retire last year from my previous job, and now I find myself back in the classroom, and but it's a part-time deal, and that's something exciting for me because I really feel like this is a God-given moment. Just today confirmed that. It's just amazing how God works because of where He has placed me, and I'm thinking like, oh God, I don't know what to do with my time off. Then now I find myself taking this part-time job, but also finding out later today from some pastor friends that they were reaching out to this school, and they have not really been able to reach out to the sixth grade group, and it was a God moment. He has me as a part-time teacher for sixth grade, and when that connection happened, it was like, wow, God, you are amazing, because I never thought, first off, for me to take on a sixth grade position. It's because it is a rough time for these kiddos, and I felt like I didn't have the stamina nor the patience, I guess, to like wanting to help and teach. And this is me just being vulnerable, and it does take a special group of people to teach middle school age children, because of what they need, and they're very selective to who they want to listen to. And so it's a big task. It's an honorable task. And so God really showed me like, this is where I want you. And so I rambled a lot, and I don't know if this is going to make it into the video, but I just thought I would just put it there. And so I teach Tuesdays and Thursdays, and tomorrow is usually a day where I'll be doing schoolwork to get ready to prepare to teach. Tuesday I'm teaching. That afternoon I'll probably make some notes about like what I want to do for Thursday, and then the read-a-thon ends on Wednesday, so I might, if I do make it, it might be at the skin of my teeth, but I'm looking at that All That It Takes book, and it's thick. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this read-a-thon within the read-a-thon time. So I'll probably just do as much as I can. Anyway, I will talk to you tomorrow. Good morning. It is January the 6th. Yeah, January 6th, and it's a Monday morning. I'm currently out here in front of my church, well, behind the church. I do help when I can up here, but I'm about to go home, and I wanted to have a quick update since I didn't get a chance to this morning. This morning was just a really fast morning. I usually do a quick devotions, and then I decided I wanted to try to do my hair, but you can't really see it. That's okay. Well, kind of like a curl there, but I have it pinned back, so kind of defeats the purpose. But anyway, I wanted to update about the book. I've only read about, I think I'm on page like 16, so I'm not really that far into the book, but the book is really short, so I might actually get that done today if I like really push at it. I mean, it's only I think a little over 200 pages. So, and it reads really quick. So it's definitely a YA. There is some angst in there, but I find that it's not, at least to me, not too annoying, because I guess I kind of knew that it was a YA book to begin with, versus like the last book that I had read. I wasn't really expecting much YA. At least I don't know if it was classified as YA. I should probably look at that. But this one I knew going into it that it was pretty YA, so I was like expecting a little bit of angst. But this book starts off right away with the young girl. I think it's pronounced Kyra or Kiera. In my mind, I'm reading it as Kyra. So Kyra, she is already off the bat talking about how she is not happy that her friend is like ignoring her and being part of this popular group. And it kind of flashbacks a little bit about how her friend tried out for the cheerleading team and didn't make it, and she was like, yay, happy about it, but she wanted to be a good friend and was just like, it's okay. And you know, the normal things I guess girls would do is just like, you were better anyway, or it was bought out. And then how the friend was just like, she tried out again the following year, and then, you know, kind of made it in. Now it's like at the part to where Kyra is very like shooting herself in the foot, honestly. Like, she's already like, things are changing, I'm very moody, very teenage angst, and just like the popular girls don't even like me. And granted, some of them don't, like, you kind of figure out like, oh, this person's a little fake. But almost is like, she's very negative Nancy, and feels like this is all going to change. My best friend is leaving me, and the best friend's name is Jordan. Sorry, I didn't mention that. Like, Jordan is leaving me, and boohoo. And I get it. Again, it's teenage angst, and it's very like, woe to me kind of deal. And that's where I'm at right now, where she is in that transition stage. She already is saying like, it's doomed, my friendship is doomed, and I think a lot of it is self-inflicted. And so, you know, curious to see how it's going to play out. It's a very short book, and things are happening fast, which I appreciate that they're happening faster. Like, we just jumped into the book and like, oh wow, here we go, you know. But there is mention of God in it, but as far as like how a teenage girl would, in a way, and I say it like very loosely, I get everybody's spiritual walk is different, but in the way that I can see how a young teenage girl could experience, like, I'm praying that she doesn't do well, or like very selfish prayers, I guess. And so there is just making mention here and there. So not super huge faith content, but more of just like, if you have lost a friend due to y'all growing apart into like social cliques, and you've been with friends for a long time, and I guess I can see that, you know. So anyway, that's just a little bit of an opinion that I had with it, and I thought I would just take some time to talk about that. So today I hope to finish it, but there are some couple of things we're going to tackle, and a lot of that is me preparing for my lesson tomorrow. And I'll be redoing the lesson, but I had to move out of the way. But yeah, so today looks like me getting schoolwork done for tomorrow, and I do have a girls ministry that I do tonight, so I need to prepare for that. And I think my sister mentioned that she wanted to hang out. So a little bit busy, but again, I really think I can get the book done today. I'll talk to y'all in the next segment. All this Easter stuff. There we go, all this shopping. Good morning. It is January the 7th, and we are at the tail end of our read-a-thon. Tomorrow's when the read-a-thon ends, and I did not reach the goals that I want. That's okay. I at least got 2 books done, and I'll just talk about those 2. And if I get to the 3rd book later on this month, then I can review that in my wrap-up. Currently, right now, I am, sitting at a traffic light, getting ready to go to school, and okay, so this is my last check-in. It is still December the 7th, and it is about 4 o'clock this afternoon, and I have completed my book. So I realized I didn't say much this morning about the book from last night, so there's a lot of catching up to do, but here's what I will say. The book definitely had a lot of twists and turns in it. I did not expect a lot of heavier topics to be discussed in this book. And again, it seems almost unreal, I guess. There were just some surprises in this book. Some topics to me felt like very cliche, like high school kids, some of like the popular group, the nerd group, this group does drugs, like stuff like that. It was like, okay, I guess that's how high school was, but I don't know. Seemed very kind of like cliche in that way. But the talk of like, these groups and how they come together during some difficult circumstances is interesting. There is big faith context in it, and this did leave on a cliffhanger, the book did, but you see more in the later part of the book about just that faith context, and it was interesting. It sounded so simple, which that's the message of the gospel, right? And you hear that in the book. I'm intrigued. I'll give it that. I am intrigued in the series. I saw a little snippet of what the next book was about, and so I'm interested to see how this would progress if it's a companion book. There are some characters where I'm curious about like what happens. And if I have to give this book a rating right off the bat, I think it was good. Say maybe 3.5 range. Because it is good. I like the faith context, but a little bit more of like very cliche, stereotypical high school. So some of it was cringing, but other parts were beautiful. Like I liked when they talked about the faith. And so yeah, tomorrow is the last day of the read-a-thon, and I mentioned earlier today that I wasn't going to finish my book, like my other book, during this read-a-thon, which is sad because this is the book that I wanted to read, and I mean, I'll still read it this month, but as far as for the vlog, I was hoping to get to it, but there's just no way. I'm going to finish this tomorrow. And so I'll just pick this up for later on reading, and it'll be in my end of month wrap up, hopefully. I want to be able to read my TBR books just because that's, if I don't read those, then I'll have to roll backwards on the game board, and I haven't done that so far, so I'll probably pick up one of those other ones, and it's actually my last ebook that I'm going to pick up for the month. And so and those I tend to read a little slower, I feel, so I'll get that ebook done. And yeah, so hopefully I'll get to All That It Takes later on in the month. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this vlog. It seemed a little less stressful recording this vlog during a time where it's not like a big season. So who knows? I may do another vlog down the road, but just wanted to try my hand at it again. So if you have read any of these books, I would love to know. And this was a fun read-a-thon, and fun like vlogging it, or at least it's nice to talk about the books after I get done reading them. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in another video. Bye guys.